Hey, girl. Welcome to the Healing Woman podcast. I'm so happy you're here and that we have found each other. I am your host and creator of the Healing Woman podcast and community, Monica Sanchez. I say community because I want this to extend out to the community. I want to have gatherings of women who are supporting other women, who are inspiring other women. And if this is just the beginning, this is just the beginning of a vision that I have. I want to have live studio audiences who can be here when I interview amazing guests. And I'm just super excited. And this is just the beginning. So the idea of the healing woman came about 9 years ago. And only back then, when I started it, it was called Hey Girl, which is one of my favorite Lady Gaga songs of the time. It was a song about women supporting one another. Some of the lyrics of the song, um, hey girl, we can make it easy if we lift each other. If you lose your way, just know that I got you. There's so many other beautiful lyrics in that song, but it's a song that I really took to heart. I sang it over and over. And when I went through some really difficult times, it was also a song that my family played. And I'll get more into that in another podcast as well. But hey, girl is just something that you say to your girlfriends. It's something that brings you closer to another woman female connection, you know? So I just always love that song. But the Healing Woman took this to another level. Um, the the desire to create the community had been long thought of, but in 2017, I went through some very life-changing events. One of those events being that I almost lost my own life following a heart surgery, and I'll go more into that in another podcast as well. There's a lot of details about that, and knock on wood, I'm still here, but I really almost could not have been. That same year, I lost my beautiful mother, which is one of the biggest heartbreaks of my life. That year is when I felt the most love, the most supported, and lifted by my sisters, my actual sisters, and sisterhood of women. My family as well, but there was just a power in being lifted by other women. And I just knew my heart was so full with all of the love that I was receiving, with all of the support I was receiving, that I wanted to give back. I wanted to give back to women so women would always feel supported and never feel alone. So I created that community. Hey, girl, life happened and I didn't get to participate and do things like I had planned to originally, I should just say. But I just knew that I wanted a community where women could support one another, feeling inspired by other women. I don't know about you, but I see inspiring women all around me. And I am so fortunate and lucky to know some of these women. And when I hear their stories, I'm sure you've probably experienced this as well, but when I hear their stories, at times I'm just like, wow, you really did that. You really went through all of that, and here you are. Here you are on the other side telling the story of survival, the story of triumph, of strength, of resilience, of love, of uplifting, of joy. It becomes a whole full circle experience for women, for us. Um, because at the like they say at the end of a storm comes the rainbow. I always feel that sometimes these trials and tribulations in life can be very heavy. They can be um, they can be really hard. But what I always tell what I always tell people is this is just temporary. This is just temporary. So when you are at your lowest moments, when you are experiencing some of these life traumas, losses, heartaches, um, all of those things that we experience in life, just always know that it's temporary. When I started thinking that way and making it through another day after a difficult situation, sometimes you just feel like, oh my gosh, this is just so overwhelming and so hard to deal with. But just always know that it's temporary and it will get better, whatever that situation is. So I wanted this community. I've been wanting it. It's been in my heart. It's been in my soul for a very, very long time. And my plan is I want to bring on, and I'm so excited about the guests I'm going to have. I want to bring on inspiring women who have overcome, who have healed, who are healing. I should take that back. Who not are healed, because we are always healing, which is why I call this the healing woman. We are constantly healing in life, whether it's from old traumas, whether it's from yesterday's heartbreak. We are always healing throughout life. So it's important to have a strong community or strong sisterhood, whether that's one or two people, whether it's here listening to other people's stories of inspiration. You may hear stories that resonate with you, stories that you can relate to. Just a little bit about me. I am a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a sister, I'm a friend. I'm a woman who's been through some of life's most difficult situations, and I'm here to tell about it. I mentioned one of those when I almost lost my life in 2017. One of the scariest things of my life, if not the scariest things. I was in a coma for a week. They didn't know if I was going to survive. They told my family to make plans. I don't remember all of this because I was in another state of mind. I was in a coma state. Um, that was life changing for me. That was life changing for me. When I woke up a week later, I had this sense of urgency to do more. I also had a fear. I also had anxiety. Having faced something so difficult and having faced death, stared it right in the face, knowing that I may not have been here. That sometimes would stay with me. And I just did not, oh my time on this earth was not ready to be over. There's so much more that I want to do. There's so much more that I have done since then. A lot of healing that I've done since then. I am now a healing arts professional, a energy worker, and I am a work in progress, just like all of you. Again, I will talk more about that experience in another podcast, another episode. But I also want to relate to you some of my other life experiences. I've experienced loss, just like many of you have as well. Loss of loved ones, loss of my mother, which, if you've lost your mother, you know what kind of a hole that leaves in your heart. Losing my mom was one of the most difficult and continues to be, because grief is ever changing. Grief looks different every day. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to heal together. I've also lost 3 babies, 3 little girls. And I know many people can experience that, have experienced that as well. Even though it was years ago, it's something that I will never forget. They will never be far from my heart. And that in itself is another life-changing event, another traumatic event. I've experienced loss of relationships, of marriages. I've also experienced more traumatic events like domestic violence, sexual assault. My life has been filled with experiences, beautiful, wonderful experiences that I'm so grateful for. But I also have seen and been through some very hard times. Other things that I've experienced that I know many of us have gone through. I was married to my kids' father for almost 10 years before I came out. I'm a queer woman. I've been out for over 25 years now. But that journey in itself, although my story is not as difficult as others have been, that journey is just a story in its own. I'd love to share that as well, and share and bring on guests that can relate to these stories as well and have their own stories to share, their own journeys. I feel that when we gather in community, when we listen to another woman's story, take the time to listen with our open hearts and offering them love energetically, that something shifts in her life and something shifts in your life too. So imagine all of us listening to one woman's story, one woman's journey, and sharing in that space together, sharing in that energy, in that healing, and in that love. This is what the Healing Woman is about. Because I want you all to know that you are not alone. You're not alone. You're never alone. I get emotional when I think about what I want this podcast to represent and the impact I'm really hoping it will have. Because I know some really incredible people, really incredible women with some very powerful stories. And and we will share together. We will share together, and I hope that you also feel inspired by these women. I wanted to come on this very first episode and just introduce myself and humanize myself to all of you who don't know me, but just know that although I'm so grateful for my life, and although I have worked on my healing very intently and intensely, a lot of intention, I'm still healing also. New traumas happen, new things happen in life. I've experienced watching people die in front of me, transitioning from this world, realizing how fragile life is and how grateful we all should be for our lives. So many life-changing things that I've experienced, just like I'm sure you've experienced as well. We're not only going to talk about these things, though. We're not just going to talk about the difficulties, the trials. We're going to talk about the joy that comes after, the healing, the strength, and all of the wonderful things. We'll share some laughs, not just tears. We will share some laughs and just feel into each other's energy. We're going to lift each other up here. If you know an incredible woman that you think story should be heard, should be told, please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to listen and to learn about other incredible women. I, again, just wanted to introduce myself in this very first episode and tell you how extremely excited I have been to create this community. I want to tell you all thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and tell you to get comfortable. Pull up a seat. Let's heal together. Thank you.